Alright, I'm going to pop back in for a quick part 2 of 25 ways that you can easily go green. This is going to be more of a speed round. You can think about it in your own personal time, but I'm just going to rhyme off some things and just to make sure that they get in there. I had a couple extras from the video with 25, so here we go. 50 things that you can do to go green. 28. Turn off the tap. Save water, it's not so hard. When you're not using it, turn it off. It's easy. Shower together, always fun. Cut your toilet paper squares into halves or quarters. If you don't need the whole piece of toilet paper, why waste it? You have to pay for that, Read books instead of screens. Goes without saying. The majority of the information that's useful in the world is in books. I'm sorry, it hasn't been converted to videos. Maybe you can read some and do so. Sound good? Eat with friends. There's no better way to save money and time than bundling things together. And when you eat a meal with friends, you enjoy it, and you don't have to eat a meal at home and then eat a meal with friends. Eat a meal alone, then eat a meal with friends. Just bring things together, it makes sense. Make music. Music's really enjoyable. You don't need the internet for it. There's no lag. You don't have to, have your connection time out and be all frustrated. You don't need ads. There's no ads when you make your own music. It's great. I hate ads. Live off grid. If you can live off grid or tied into the grid, power positive, if you're producing solar power and feeding it back into the system, or if you just step out of the system altogether, that's awesome. Get a tiny home or something. It's cool. Live grid positive. Vaguely touched on that there. Just being tied into the grid, producing more energy than you use. It's awesome. Get an air quality plant. Another great way you can do things is greenify your home a little bit. Get a spider plant. Get something that increases the air quality in your home. Most of us don't have great air circulation, so you're breathing the same dead air you breathed yesterday and the day before. And it's full of dust and baby hair, and why not get a plant? It's cool. Cook batch meals. Instead of cooking every single night, washing your dishes every single night, cook one big meal, store it, and then eat it all week. And if you don't want to eat the same thing every day, you can dehydrate stuff if you have to, but more likely you want to store it, put it in your fridge for a few days, or put it in the freezer. Just make sure you don't wait till the last day to put it in the freezer. Just think ahead a little bit. And it can be really easy, and it can last you a long time. Drive between 1,500 and 2,000 RPMs. I took a little bit of driving school, and there's a range between 40 kilometers and 80 kilometers that you actually are more fuel efficient. And I find this range tends to be between 1,500 and 2,000 RPMs. Sometimes it's hard to keep it right under 2,000, so you can go up to 2,250 if you have to, depending on the different moment. But if you keep it in that range, it will really help. It'll save you on gas too. Teach your kids about green solutions. There's nothing better than little monsters running around thinking just a little bit about trying to avoid waste. But you don't need to convince your kids that they shouldn't do anything because they're going to waste it and they can't experiment and play and learn. Let them do those things. Just try to eliminate some unnecessary waste and teach them in a fun way how to do stuff that's green. Kids like what you like. Teach them to enjoy it. It's enjoyable. Spend more time in person. Rather than that Skype call or the phone call, go and meet someone. Hang out with them in person. Go for a walk with them. No better way to get together and connect than a nice walk through the woods. Go to the library. Goes without saying, I won't dwell on it too much. You don't have to buy books. Save some money. It's all good. Less books have to be printed. Become a producer, whether that's vegetables or some sort of product, especially if you can produce it packaging free, that's awesome. Become an activist, whether it's supporting stuff that's happening overseas or supporting your local community or even just your family or becoming an activist in your own life, that personal revolution. It's an awesome step. It doesn't have to be all doom and gloom and dystopia. We can create a utopia, so why not? Become an authoritative leader. We spent too much energy trying to avoid conflict. And sometimes conflict is necessary. But conflict doesn't have to be aggressive. Conflict can come across in a compassionate, kind, and open and inviting kind of way. If you can show people how to live in a better way and tell them why it's important and tell them why you don't agree with totally ignoring it, and you can do that in a kind, compassionate way, I think that invites people in more than screaming at them that they're an evil, horrible person and they're going to burn for eternity because they eat the flesh of your kin, you know? Your kin being animals, you know? People aren't quite that receptive to that. If I told you that you were eating my children, you know, you'd probably be pretty freaked out. Adopt a kid responsibly. You know, if you aren't able to have children, that's sad, but that gives you an opportunity to really give back to the world in a way where there's so many orphans out there. And even if you have a child of your own and you decide to adopt a child, that can be a great opportunity for them and for you. And it brings us all together. It connects us. It shows us that we're all related. We're all natives. We're all from this planet. So treat each other with kindness and respect and take someone under your wing. Responsibly, when you're ready, if you're ready. It's a good thing to do. Become a teacher. The world needs more teachers, and not because they get paid really well, but because they care, they teach, they're changing and helping to grow and develop the younger generations. I think that is one of the most respectable things that should be, uplifted and placed on a pedestal in our culture. People that teach. It's beautiful, it's amazing. I look up to you. Thank you. I can't believe I still need to remind people to recycle. There's way too many people that, because they heard some offhanded comment about how, not all the stuff at a recycling plant gets recycled, they throw everything in the garbage. Well, now you're just not even having an opportunity for that to get recycled. You're just giving up on the whole process. It's not that hard to recycle. If you can divide your recycling bin or have two separate ones for, the plastics and paper, film plastic, paper, and then plastic bottles and glass, then you don't have to sort everything. It's super easy. So just divide it, recycle. It's not so hard. In difference to adopting a child, maybe start with a rescue. Whether it's a dog or a cat or a chinchilla or a lizard, whatever it is. There's a lot of animals out there that are being abused or neglected, and it's not always the best idea to go get a fresh, new, well-bred puppy. It just puts more animals in the world when there's still ones that need to be looked after that aren't. So adopting an animal can be a great first step to learning how to be an authority figure, and it can really help you become a really good parent. Feel before you speak. Buddha said, before you say anything, ask yourself, is it true? Does it need to be said? And is it kind? Most of us, we get the true, we get the need to be said. You're fat. You need to lose weight. You're embarrassing me. That's true. Maybe it needs to be said in some way, but it's not kind, and you're never going to reach anyone that way. So feel before you speak. And number 50, just be kind. If we had more kindness, more love, more compassion in the world would be a much better place. You don't need to donate money to this charity or that charity or to this homeless person or that person who's struggling. It's not about money. People like to view money as the source and solution to every problem, but it's not. Kindness is. Giving kindness to someone rather than giving them $1 or just ignoring them or anything. Kindness can be something that we can give that's free, that means so much more. So go green, be happy, and be kind. It's not so hard, and I think you'll love it when you do. Peace.